You've heard of Hercules, the muscle-bound hero of myth. But his true name was Heracles, meaning glory of Hera, a cruel irony since Hera despised him more than anyone. After a tragedy cursed by the gods, Heracles sought redemption. His punishment: 12 impossible labors, each one more brutal, more dangerous, more cunning than the last. Let's walk through his epic journey, the trials that made him immortal. The people of Nemea lived in fear. A lion, its hide tougher than iron, slaughtered anything in its path. No blade could pierce it, no spear could wound it. When Heracles faced the beast, his arrows bounced off harmlessly. So he changed tactics. Cornering it in a cave, Heracles wrestled the lion in the dark, its claws ripping at his skin. With sheer strength, he strangled it until it fell. From then on, Heracles wore the lion's impenetrable hide as his armor. But the gods were only warming up. In the swamps of Lerna, a monster waited. The Hydra, 9 serpent heads, and every time one was cut off, 2 more grew back. Heracles waded into the muck, sword flashing, only to find the creature multiplying. Desperation set in, till he called on his nephew Iolaus, who brought fire. Together, they scorched each neck as it was severed, halting regeneration. When the immortal central head remained, Heracles crushed it beneath a great boulder. Still, Hera sneered. His journey had barely begun. This trial wasn't about battle. It was about patience. The golden-horned deer of Artemis was swift as the wind, sacred to the goddess herself. Heracles chased it through forests, across rivers, up mountains. For nearly a year, he pursued it, never giving up. Finally, he caught the hind without harming it, carrying it back on his shoulders. Even the gods had to respect his restraint. But patience wouldn't save him from the next trial. On a snowy mountain, a monstrous boar ravaged the land, tusks like daggers. Villagers whispered in terror each time it charged through their fields. Heracles climbed into the frozen huts, waiting with iron nets. With a thunderous roar, the beast came crashing down the slopes, only to be wrestled into submission. Dragging the boar back alive, Heracles so terrified King Eurystheus that the king dove into a storage jar to hide. And yet, another challenge was already waiting. This was no glorious battle. It was humiliation. Heracles was ordered to clean the Augean stables, a kingdom's worth of cattle. Their filth piling up for decades. Impossible in one day. Unless you thought like a hero, Heracles diverted to mighty rivers, crashing their waters through the stables and washing everything clean in a single sweep. A triumph of wit, not brawn. But Eurystheus tried to deny the labor, ensuring the next would be even worse. The marshes echoed with the screeches of death. Bronze-beaked birds that devoured flesh, their metallic feathers sharp enough to pierce armor. Heracles waded into the reeds, but they circled above in swarms. Then Athena gifted him a rattle of bronze. The noise sent the birds shrieking into the sky, and with his bow, Heracles shot them down one by one until the skies fell silent. But silence never lasted long. in Crete, a fire-breathing bull ravaged fields and toppled villages. Its fury was endless, its power divine. Heracles grabbed it by the horns, muscles straining as the beast bucked and roared. After an epic struggle, he wrestled it into submission and led it back alive. What no one knew then, this very bull would sire the Minotaur, another legend of Greek myth. But Heracles had no time for future monsters. His own path pressed on. King Diomedes of Thrace owned horses that fed on human flesh. Heracles confronted them, only to be swarmed by Diomedes' men. In the chaos, Heracles turned Diomedes himself into food, feeding the cruel king to his own mares. Sated, the beasts calmed, and Heracles led them away. But every victory seemed darker than the last. Among the Amazons, Heracles faced Queen Hippolyta, whose magical belt symbolized her power. At first, she welcomed him, even offered the belt willingly. But Hera spread rumors among the Amazons, twisting their trust into fear. Battle erupted. Heracles fought fiercely, seizing the belt amidst the chaos. What could have been a peaceful gift became another bloody conquest. And still, his trials were far from over. Heracles was sent to the ends of the earth, to the island of Erythea, where Geryon, a giant with 3 bodies, guarded red cattle. Heracles shot Geryon with a poisoned arrow, defeated his monstrous guard dog, and drove the cattle across deserts and seas. The journey itself became legendary, said to have reshaped rivers and carved mountains. But greater challenges awaited still. Golden apples of immortality, guarded by a 100-headed dragon and belonging to Hera herself. Heracles sought Atlas, the Titan condemned to hold up the sky. Atlas agreed to fetch the apples if Heracles shouldered the heavens for a while. With the world's weight pressing down on him, Heracles endured until Atlas returned. Then, tricking the Titan, Heracles handed the burden back and walked away, apples in hand. Only one final descent remained. The last labor took him to the underworld itself. His task, bring back Cerberus, the monstrous 3-headed dog of Hades. With nothing but his strength and courage, Heracles wrestled the beast in the land of the dead, forcing it to obey. Dragging it into the light of the living, he proved he could conquer even death's guardian. Heracles endured all 12 labors. Each one was designed to break him, but through strength, cleverness, and sheer will, he rose above them all. His story wasn't just about might, it was about resilience, about a man cursed yet determined to redeem himself. This has been Fact Me Today, where myths, legends, and history collide. If this journey through the 12 labors of Heracles inspired you, dive deeper with us because there are always more epic tales waiting to be told.